Hey everyone, Matron here, bringing you another StarCraft 2 commentary, this time Game 2 of the Best of 3 series, between idrA spawning as the blue Zerg, and Huck spawning as the red Protoss on Steppes of War. This is the Best of 3 series, the finals match of the Washington DC MLG StarCraft 2 tournament. Huck did drop Game 1, idrA was able to take it on Xel'Naga Caverns with a Roach and Hydra army. In the end, Huck was not able to get out of Colossi quick enough to deal with the Roaches and the Hydralisks. This was the first game that Huck has lost all tournament long. idrA has dropped a few to QXC, Kiwikaki, etc. So Huck's going to have to respond here, see whether he's jacked up. Looks like his APM's well over 300, spiking at 400 at times. So he's going to send out an early probe here after his 9 pylon. And this probe's going to try to deny the fast expand from idrA and make sure idrA is not going to do any sort of cheese here. Again, expect both players just to play very solid macro games. Good micro for their individual attacks, but neither player is really known for any sort of cheese, no real harassment early on. Don't see any Hellion Banshee harass like you do from the Terran players. Not going to see any sort of 6 pool from idrA. Just going to throw down a pretty safe 14 pool. Huck's going to throw down his 14 gateway, per usual, and Huck's just going to try to deny this expansion as long as possible. Sees this drone come down, he's going to duel it a little bit, try to go around. idrA's going to bring 2 drones down, try to take out this probe. The probe's going to try to get down a pylon, he's going to be unable to do so. He's going to be taken down. Looks like Huck's getting up his gas, and another pylon. This drone's going to move out and scout for idrA, make sure Huck's not up to anything cheesy. But again, both players pretty strong, just macro players. They'll play it straight the majority of the games and just beat their opponent by not making any mistakes. idrA's coming out with his queen here and did throw down that expansion. Something we've seen from idrA most every single game. I don't think I've seen him go off one base all tournament. This probe doing a great little sideways dance here, taking down the drone. Drone's got 2 hits left. Cybernetic score coming down. Not a great wall off again. Zerglings are going to be able to come by, and this drone's going to be taken down. Looks like gas is going up a little bit late for idrA, so he's not going to be able to get that Zergling speed as early as he'd probably like. These overlords coming out, and again, just staying in the space. He knows that he can scout here without any stalkers coming up, no cybernetic score. He's going to make sure that there's no second gateway on the way. Now that the cybernetic score comes up, idrA immediately moving his overlord. He knows it's vulnerable at this point. Another overlord going up here, possibly scout the north part of the space. And idrA now has this second hatchery up. Did a little bit of a transfer. See the APM settling in around 200 for both players. If we look at the production tab, we got the first creep tumor. Looks like it was spread in the main, not the natural here. So idrA doing a creep tumor in the main and then transferring this queen over to the natural. Second queen already up in the main. Looks like these first 2 Zerglings coming out, and Huck's going to do a little bit more harass with this stalker here. First Spinecrawler going down at the natural. Things shaping up the same way that they did last game, almost to a T. Huck's going to come in with this stalker. It's going to be taking down the shield duel by this queen. Once the queen's off this creep, it's not going to be able to catch up. Stalkers can move very quickly. Movement speed of 2.95 compared to the queen of 0.94. Even on creep, they're going to move pretty even speed. Huck's just going to try to take down these Zerglings. Just 1 hit left on the stalker. Probably keep it up here to wait for its shields to regen. Instead, the queen's going to be able to come down here and pick off that stalker. Again, great overlord placement here, 1 on each side. idrA's going to be able to suicide in there if he needs to do some late scouting. Going to make sure there's no airplay, no warp prisms, void rays leaving Huck's base. Huck's got these sentries here, going to be able to wall off if he feels any Zergling pressure. Finally have another 2 Spinecrawlers, so that'll be 3 total for idrA. Looks like he is spreading creep here very diligently. Now he's connected his 2 bases. Zerglings are going to push out, make sure they're doing scouting non-stop. Again, a bunch of sentries from Huck here. Huck's going to throw up this natural. A little bit behind idrA, 31 to 30, but idrA's on 2 bases here, so his drones are going to do a much more efficient job mining those minerals. idrA again on 3, 4 gases now very quickly. So one advantage idrA's been exploiting is getting to 4 gases much faster than Huck's even been able to get to 3. Huck moving out this small army again, going to place a forward pylon. If we look at the army tab, it's 875 to idrA's 0, so no more Zerglings. He just has these 3 spine crawlers. Huck's going to be able to pick off that creep tumor there, and needs to move in here. Some good micro on these spine crawlers, he could take these down. Not really sure why he's pushed back with these sentries. No sort of drop or anything for idrA. idrA may have suicided in an Overlord there, just to get Huck's attention, but no reason to send back all these units. Perhaps he saw the spine crawlers and thought that idrA also had a big force, but idrA was at 0 army and is still at 0 army here. So idrA taking a huge risk just droning up. If we look, 44 drones to 36. Now finally some Hydralisks coming out for idrA. So it looks like he'll have 5 Hydralisks, and a number of Overlords are also spawning, so he's getting ready to do a big push food-wise. Possibly roaches, possibly hydras. Actually, he does have no roach warren, so it's just the Hydralisks here. Huck just pulling back, not sure why he wasn't aggressive here. He is setting up his natural, so 38 harvesters on 2 bases. He did a great transfer there. Both look very well saturated, and just pushing out more probes. Does need to get out more units though, or else idrA's just going to be able to out-macro him. Looks like idrA's moving out again with these Overlords. Going to drop a creep highway. It's going to be great for these Hydralisks. He's going to move out with these spine crawlers, so using some offensive spine crawlers, maybe taking the middle here. Going to plant him in, take out this scouting probe. Huck's going to move out with these sentries and the zealot. No zealot legs or anything yet, so these sentries with the force field are going to be very limited. Huck's got a large army now though. Against these Hydralisks, not sure he's going to be able to do a great job. Hydralisk is very good against Stalkers. Attack much more quickly. And Huck's going to see these spine crawlers. He knows he has to retreat, and he's going to try to take on these Hydralisks, but just too many Hydralisks that when they're off the creep, they're going to be very slowly. They're quite weak. idrA's throwing down this creep tumor. He's going to expand this creep even more. Looks like these spine crawlers coming down. We have good force fields here. He's going to be able to pick off these front Hydralisks. Needs to back up so these other Hydralisks cannot attack. Again, force fields in the back. He's going to split this Hydralisk force. If you look at the production tab, idrA has 7 more Hydralisks coming. These spine crawlers are now taking an offensive position. These Overlords are spewing creep for them and giving them range on this high ground and sight up here. Another 4 Hydralisks coming for idrA. If we look at the unit counting tab, looks like we have 10 Hydralisks to the 8 Stalkers. Stalkers are not going to be able to take on this many Hydralisks, especially with this creep here. Hydralisks move very quickly on the creep here. So number of Hydralisks low for idrA. Perhaps push those to the back. But now we have 14 Hydralisks to 11 Stalkers. Looks like idrA's coming in with another 11 Hydralisks. So these Stalkers now with blink, some good blink micro by Huck here. As these Stalkers take damage, he's going to blink into the back, re-engage with new Stalkers with much higher HP, warping in more Stalkers, but again, just not as many. 6 Stalkers to the 17 Hydralisks, and idrA pushing in with these spine crawlers, these 3 offensive spine crawlers. Huck pulling probes off the line, going to try to attack the spine crawlers before they can bury, and Huck just has to GG. He's got nothing on these Hydralisks, which are great against gateway units. idrA knows the timing of the Colossi, he knows the timing of the Hydralisks here, and my guess is he was pushing out these Hydralisks, and Huck just did not do his usual robotics facility with gateway units and with Colossi, and he was not able to respond to these Hydralisks. Not really sure why he changed his build order so much from previous games we've seen, but idrA would just such great timing this attack here. He moved out with these Overlords, spread that creep highway almost instantly, and then moved out with those offensive spine crawlers. Who uses offensive spine crawlers like that besides in crazy cheese games and some great Hydralisk play? Even though we saw some good force fields, idrA was just able to macro a lot better than Huck was, and Huck's gateway units no answer for these Hydralisks. So Huck falls in this series 2-0. and moves on to the losers bracket, where he will face the winner of the rest of the losers bracket games. The winner of that will move on to the grand finals and face idrA. So if Huck is able to win that losers bracket, he will face idrA again in the finals. I will cast that series as well. It'll be between Huck and Select, and look forward to casting that. Look forward to you being there. Thanks for watching.